Well, my friends, my unquenchable thirst for travel has brought me to amazing places again. This time, I come to the town Leven, which I learned about a few months ago, while carefully studying a map of Scotland. Today's point of my journey contains the beautiful name Leven. It's a proper name untranslatable in my native language. But it was not this feature, of course, that attracted me to Leven, but its very close proximity to the sea. The city was built on the southern coast of Fife, and it's already famous for its picturesque beauty. Moreover, it was interesting to go there on the eve of the beach season, so let's go ahead. I invite you to take a look with me at the amazing architecture of Leven and the splendor of its carefully landscaped coastal area. And if you like the walk, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. As you can see, despite the sky, which is covered with dark clouds, aesthetics begins with my first step. As soon as I step into the neat pavement, lined with grey tiles, combining no less than 3 colorful shades, Leven immediately grabs me in its hospitable embrace. Well, I will not resist the stormy onslaught of beauty around me. An amazing harmony of color and form reigns in the town. As I understand it, there are no skyscrapers here. The maximum height of the cutest houses is only 3 floors. But the locals did their best with the design of the facades, with a range of palettes of brown and steel, sand and marsh, authentically resonate with the background of the roadway, pavement and roofs, covered with Gothic tiles, which pleases the eye. I'm sure that the setting of these moderately wide streets and pretty squares is ideal for ready-made scenery, for films in the fantasy genre, historical novels, and especially mystical thrillers and fairy tales. Everything around here seems to be painfully artistic and ancient, and the antiquity is so well preserved that it creates the most acute feeling of a deep failure in its distant nightly past. Indisputable elements of modernity helps us to wake from the haze of bygone grey centuries. Fashionable clothes on very few passers-by and good cars. And so, if you do not pay attention to all the benefits of civilization, it immediately begins to tighten like a trapped thoughts about moving to the 15th or 16th century, and maybe even to an earlier period. Well, it's true, only the convex monograms and bas-reliefs on the walls were clearly made 200, 300 or 500 years ago. You can be completely abstracted from our time, like me. Just throw your head up and look at the obviously medieval sharp spires bursting into the sky from charming roofs, one-to-one similar to those that I saw in the film about King Arthur and his round table. Well, I seem to be gradually approaching the sea. At least, that's what the salty air and the leaden blue of the bay, peeping into the distance, tell me. There at the sea, I have planned a glorious tour of Leven for today and intend to see all of its most attractive features. Walking briskly towards the blurry horizon, connecting the sky to the sea, I simultaneously enjoy the atmosphere of leisure and freedom. The heart is torn from my chest, with the inexpressible triumph of all 3 elements, almost untouched by man. The freshest air blowing from the Firth of Forth, the immense volume of water, and the large space around it. I escape from the stone scenery of the city and go into a radically different perspective, purely natural, only delicately emphasized by the elements of concern for people like me, who comes here in search of relaxation from an urban environment. But I don't have time to sit down on neat benches. I'm all in anticipation of meeting the waves. Oh, today the bay is not calm. Do you hear the noise? But even with this loud splash, I can hear friendliness. Yes, there is completely harmony of man and Mother Nature. Nature is clearly taken care of here. As always, I am amazed of the cleanliness and neatness. The measured life of living proceeds in total harmony with the forces of the elements, and such rare symbiosis of man and nature cannot but rejoice. It seems that the long sandy beaches, stretching along the equally long coastline of the city, attract visitors all year round. At least I witness the real bathing of the whole group. 5 people, it seems, cheerfully splashing in restless cold water. Startled by a picture of swimmers, I hurry away from them to something not so chilly and wet. Just kidding, of course. I just have so much more to see. For example, to admire the breathtaking view of Leven from a bird's eye view, as well as to look at the campsite, including the estuary lounge and restaurant. On its terraces, blown by a salty breeze, you can enjoy delicious drinks from the bar. Well, I already understand. You can walk at a leisurely pace and look at everything around here for days on end. What a pity that I gave myself so little time to get to know the charming Leven. Reluctantly and with sadness, I return, but as always, I don't say goodbye to the city, but only an optimistic "see you again, dear Leven. I will definitely come back to you again."